Radio, coming to you live from downtown, beautiful downtown Norfolk. I will now turn the microphone over to the announcer. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. Welcome to Occupy Norfolk Day 16. We're just about to commence General Assembly with the re-going over of the hand signs as we do every time. I have volunteered to facilitate this General Assembly. My name is Rex. Are there any concerns about that?
I am Tim, and I will co-facilitate and work the stack. Is that all right? Thank you.
Mr. Robert Waters has kindly volunteered, by my suggestion, to keep the minutes for this General Assembly. Are there any concerns with that? Thank you. Let's go over the hand gestures. I want to ask Hector to help me go over the hand gestures today as a hand model. Come on up here, please, and direct your gestures to this half of the crowd. And Tim, will you please direct your gestures to that half of the crowd? We'll try to go through this in a nice clip. If you like what's being said, it gives you a warm or fuzzy feeling. You feel good about it. Fingers up. If you have a moderate or zero feeling about what's going on, kind of in the middle there. If you do not like what is being said, you're kind of against it. Fingers down. If you're way against what's being said, so much to the fact that, not that, sir. So much that you might leave the group if the motion passes or it violates you on a moral level, block. Throw up the block. If you would like to add a point of information to what's being said after the speaker's done, one finger just like that. If you cannot hear what's being said, up, 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 up. If the speaker is rambling or going on excessively, repeating himself too much, that's the wrap it up. Move along. .org. If you do not understand what is being talked about right now, that speaker is not doing an effective job of explaining the point they're making, throw up the Mayday. The Mayday is facilitator's choice. If it's one person throwing the Mayday, they may be directed to discuss it after the General Assembly. However, if several people throw up the Mayday, clearly the speaker is doing an effective job, and we'll open it up for 2 minutes of discussion. If we can't resolve it, we'll open it up for a further 2 minutes of discussion, and if we still can't resolve it, we'll have to discuss it after GA and possibly bring it back to the table tomorrow. Did we leave any out? If what is happening violates the process, at least as you understand it, you throw up the triangle, and that's a point of process. Primarily, it's used for people that want to add points of information to things that are not on topic, but anything else, of course, that violates process, throw up the POP, point of process. If there's no concerns about that, we'll move on to our agenda points for the evening. And tonight we'll start off with a hot and contentious subject, which is the Scott Ridgel subject. It's been brought to our attention that Scott Ridgel would like to have an audience with all or some of us. We're really not sure. There has been an email sent out, and the email, or actually it will be sent out this evening, and that email is basically going to say, what do you want? Everyone here is an individual, and they're all allowed to talk to whoever they want to talk to. That does not necessarily mean that they represent the group or not, but until we hear back from him, we won't really understand what he wants or what he wants to talk about. So there will be an email sent out that says, what do you want? Are there any concerns with that at this time? Deb, come on up.
After talking last night, I actually compiled some facts about Scott Ridgel and what he stands for. And I think before we send any emails or compose any kind of contact, just based on the strength of someone that said something in a parking lot, I think we should, either wait to vote or wait till after I present the facts. I'd like to do that if given the opportunity, if people want to hear it.
Do you wish to present those facts for a couple of minutes at this time?
I would love to. Yeah, I wrote them down.
Okay. Do you have an estimated amount of time? Do we need to open up for 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Other concerns?
Hi, my name is Anita, and that's really loud.
Just don't point it at me. Point it away.
Okay, sorry. I just want to say that the email that we're sending is going to Scott Ridgell's aide, who is actually the person that Curtis spoke to when he said that he saw Scott Ridgell. And it's not oh, hey, we'd really like to meet with you. It's literally, we heard this information, and based on hearing that you might want to meet with us, is that really the story? And then at that point, the idea was that we would bring that to you guys and say, do you want to do this? My concern with going over his voting records is that that's what we could do with everybody, because everybody's got a history. So that's just, I mean, my personal opinion about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the important thing to remember, too, is we're going to work with a lot of institutions and people that we may not be comfortable with. Obviously, many of the media institutions have agendas. There are investigative reporters that have come. We've been approached by numerous political groups. And the important thing to keep in mind is that whatever comes out of it, it should not be an endorsement of Ridgell or his policies. It would merely be an attempt for Occupy Norfolk to work with somebody who may not understand what we're about, but may, even if it is a false pretension, and even if he is obviously ideologically opposed to what we are, and it's a long road before we even decide we may meet with him, but it should be understood, none of it would be considered any endorsement of Ridgell or his policies. Again, merely an attempt to communicate our desires for change, and even though he may, again, only be falsely interested in that, nonetheless, that's just a possibility being considered. Anyway.
How do I make it that not
You gotta face that.
Aha, face this way. All right, I just wanted to bring up two ideas for people to mull over real quick. The first is that we might want to come up with an official spokesperson who would handle all these types of events, that they can always be on the same page as the group as a whole, and they can always be that flashpoint. The second is if we do wind up talking to Scott Ridgell or anyone from his office, we want to leak it to the media. People, by and large, are a herd mentality. If it looks like the politicians are meeting with us, it makes us look that we're powerful. The politicians are coming to us, they want to talk to us, they want to see what's going on. People will hop on that bandwagon. We have to leak that. We have to make that a PR point, and that'll get more people hopefully down here.
I was concerned when I heard this thing last night that, especially when the aide said that Ridgell didn't want to come down here because he didn't want it to appear that we were looking for undue publicity. I think he's looking for undue publicity. I think he's trying to ride our coattail, and I don't like him.
Can I go first? Sorry.
Okay. I don't know about you, but there's been a group of certain people that I've met within us that necessarily outside of this I wouldn't associate myself with, maybe. But involved in this, I associate myself with them. And I would definitely tell everybody I know that yes, this person is with me, we are believing the same thing. So I don't see why we can't step outside of our personal beliefs and he just wants to come talk to us.
We should hear Deb and then we can continue because it's probably going to be circular until we hear her now.
Okay.
Wait, let Rob get on.
Yeah, Rob and Anita, y'all have...
Are you minimalizing?
He didn't want it to be publicly known, so there'd be a bunch of newspapers and people here and things. Okay. He just wanted to meet with a group of us, a certain group of us.
The big thing we all need to keep in mind with this, I'm almost doing it, Jamie. Huh? Yeah, I know, but I don't want to blast it out. The thing we all need to keep in mind with this is even though we're here to try to get people to see what's wrong and to make the change, we're trying to get the politicians that are in place to wake up and make those changes before we have to make more aggressive moves. Now, by the people in office coming out and wanting to talk to us or us wanting them to come hear what our opinions are of what's wrong, that's what we need to happen. Whether it be the guy we don't like, the guy we do like, or the guy we'd like to see in their place, we need to get the people in power to come out and hear our problems and start figuring out how to take care of them. So.
James, and then we got to hear all these things. I want to hear this.
Yeah, I think, again, we've got to stay away from these type of judgment decisions, too, where we decide based on Ridgell's character or his past political experience how we feel about him. because we are not extending that same type of discrimination to many groups that are working with us. We are simply rejecting them based on the fact that they are a group, and we are not endorsing any groups technically. So again, it's important to understand that what we need to assess is exactly what is going to involve talking to Rigel and what that would be for the group. Not necessarily an endorsement of his character or his past voting record or anything. Again, what are his motives, and what does it entail for the group? And again, nothing set in stone. This is all very vague. Just something the group should be aware of.
All right, Jamie, did you have anything to say, Jamie?
Just that if you want to come for our call, I think you need to come here. I think that's clear. This is the episode.
Yeah, he needs to be in that tent, is what I'm saying.
Not vice versa.